JR. How are you, man?
I'm
Welcome.
good. Appreciate it. Thank you. How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
JR, if I could start kind of on a wide scope here and a little bit broad, just what have the last couple of weeks been like communicating with Rob Pelinka and with Frank Vogel and getting you onto this squad, and then what's the dialogue been like and what they're asking and expecting of you, and as you work yourself into shape, as Vogel said, he's been impressed with how you've been able to keep yourself in shape these last couple of years.
I mean, for the last couple of weeks, I haven't really had too much dialogue. I try to keep myself out of that and let my agent handle the whole situation from being out for so long. For a while, I was just asking so much about teams, and and trying to figure out what was the next move and what was the next situation. And I just got to the point to where it was like I'm not going to ask anymore. I'm just whenever somebody calls, they'll call me, and I'm just gonna keep my head down and keep working. So it wasn't really too much dialogue for me. Since I've been here, though, they just want me to shoot the ball at a high level, defend, and play the way I'm accustomed to playing. Obviously, I'm a little bit older, so that takes into account. But at the same time, it's just a lot of getting to know some new faces. More than anything, trying to get the concepts down, what they want me to do, and what their plans for me, and just trying to figure out my way as I go.
Okay, Bill Oram.
Hey, JR, welcome.
Appreciate it.
I'm wondering what you think is going to be the challenge of trying to integrate with a new group when you know that a couple weeks after you get on the court with them finally, it's going to be the playoffs.
Yeah.
What you need to be at a high level at that point. I'm curious what the challenge of that is going to be, and then also just how much reuniting with LeBron you think might help with that process.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a challenge because obviously I haven't played with these guys. I haven't been around them as much. I obviously watched the games and been to a few games and seen them play, but it's different once you get out there knowing guys' tendencies, knowing guys going to cut, where they like to shoot the ball and stuff like that. So that's a little bit different. But for me, it's fortunate because I've never been the guy to really try to set up guys anyway. That's pretty much Bron, and it'll be AD's job. So for me, it'll be get to the corners, space the floor, play defense as much as possible, and just try to stay out the way.
Tanya Dengoli.
JR, Tanya from the LA Times.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I was curious, you hear a lot about people talking about championship experience and what that means. What do you think, from your personal experience, what do you think that means, and how do you think it helps to have been through the process?
Just being there before, not being surprised by anything, being able to more, especially as you get older in your career, being able to be vocal with your teammates and trying to get them to understand different certain situations in that crunch, trying to calm guys down, because a lot of guys like to get too pumped up for the moment sometimes, and it kind of takes away from them. So just as much as the experience goes on the court, being in the right situations, it comes on off the court as well.
Alrighty, Dave McMenamin, please.
Hey, JR, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? You got a tan being out here in LA, huh?
That's right, a little bit of sun. What conversation, if any, have you had or Rich had with the Lakers about next season? There's only 8 games here plus the playoffs. Is there a possibility of this extending into next year? Is it an audition? Like, how are you looking at it?
For me, I just take it a day at a time, literally a breath at a time, because I've been out for a while, and being around and being in an environment is so refreshing and much needed. So I try not to focus on that part. I just try to take it day by day and enjoy the moment as much as I can, because at the end of the day, I was gone for a while, and for being somebody who's been around the league for predominantly most of their adult life, when that's kind of like taken away from you, it kind of gives you that culture shock, and what obviously you don't really understand what you've lost until it's gone. So for me, more than anything, I just want to appreciate the moment for what it is, and whether it be next year or never again. I just want to enjoy every possible moment I get.
Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
All right, Kyle Boone, please.
Hey, JR, Kyle from the Orange County Register. Two parts. One, you got to work out with the Lakers, I believe, in late February, early March. What did you kind of gather from that process, and how has it connected to now you being on the Lakers now? And then two, was there a point where you were kind of reaching where you thought maybe your NBA career was over, given that you had been out so long?
Yeah. Well, the first part when I first worked out with him, I kind of knew what to expect. I kind of when watching Danny and KCP and Avery, watching the way they play, and the system is kind of mirrored our system a little bit in Cleveland. Obviously, with LeBron being a ball handler and creating plays and stuff like that. So from that aspect, I kind of knew what to expect. But I'm sorry, what was your second part of your question again?
I know you were working out and continuing to stay kind of in shape, but
Yeah.
were you reaching a threshold where you thought maybe your time in the NBA was over?
Yeah, I went through a very depressed state for a long time, and it lasted for a few months where I just didn't. I'm a big video gamer, and I didn't even want to play 2K anymore. And it's just like I don't want to hoop, I don't want to work out, I want to play 2K, I don't want to do anything with basketball. And it was just like a depression, because for something that I love and what I enjoy for so long is for my aspect of going from playing at the highest level, especially when you feel as though your career's not quote unquote over and still premature. So it was tough. It was extremely tough. But fortunately, I got a great foundation with my parents, and my dad has always been on me and on me and on me about what I accomplished and what I still have left in the tank and stuff like that. So fortunately for them, if it wasn't for them, I'd probably still be in that situation.
All right, we're going to do a couple more questions. Lauren Jones.
Hi, JR. Lauren Jones from the LA Sentinel.
How you doing?
My question is about how you think the dynamics between you and LeBron and your history can kind of add value to this current situation and kind of getting you into the fold.
Well, for me, firsthand, I know how Bron can get pissed at you and people not know how to deal with it. It gives that gap of understanding it's still all about winning, because as we all seen in the MJ doc, people are so hard on MJ because he was so hard on his teammates and stuff like that. But when you got a case like LeBron, it's different, because obviously he's doing everything he wants to do to win and everything else, and it kind of comes off in the wrong way sometimes. And you need to bridge as a player to be able to go to the next player and be like, listen, man, there's nothing personal, whether who was right or who was wrong. It's just a good balance, I think, between myself and him, because he knows just as well as he can challenge anybody else, I'll challenge him, and and it goes vice versa. So when you get a person on that level, it's kind of intimidating for a lot of people who don't know how to challenge authority in that quote unquote situation. But that's one thing I've never really had a problem with. So talking to him and getting stuff like that, having those tough conversations with our teammates, I think that's the biggest thing, because that's the only way we grow as men and as a team.
Okay, Tanya from the Times had a follow-up, JR, so we're going to give her a last question.
Okay.
Yeah, I was curious, you're talking about being able to challenge LeBron. How quickly did you feel comfortable doing that when you first started playing with him? And do you remember the first time you did it?
Yeah, fortunately, I felt pretty comfortable with him because I've known him since I was in high school, and it was always mainly switching teams, and obviously not Miami and Cleveland, but it's like it was practice. You could be on Kevin Love and Kyrie's team, and y'all could blow the second unit out, but switch it over and go against everybody. Just little things like that, and it'll challenge him to the point to where he'll get as much as you think he doesn't get a little sidetracked. It gets him re-engaged to a new challenge for him to surpass. And for somebody at that level, you just got to create new challenges within themselves to keep pushing. Now, granted, he doesn't need me to make those challenges. He's already LeBron. But at the same time, it's good to have when you have somebody who's quote unquote on your team and are part of your circle to keep pushing you to be great.